I've been asked that question so many times from patients as well. Most of the women can actually handle it. The only women that cannot are those who are trying to become pregnant or they have or they're already pregnant. I think that women are not that different when it comes to the fasting programs. So in my experience, I've been able to get women to fast. I just finished a fast on one lady just now for 72 days. 72 days. She was terribly overweight. She had diabetes. She had hypertension. She had hyperlipidemia. She was having hip replacements, knee replacements, joint problems. She had skin problems. And we fasted her for 72 days.
What did she have in those 72 days in terms of drinks, electrolytes, coffee? What was she?
Great question. So she would have black tea, black coffee, water. And in the water, once a day, I tell her to put some electrolytes in there. So there's an electrolyte called LMNT, or sometimes I just tell them to go buy some Celtic salt and put half a teaspoon in there. And once a day, you take that. If you get cravings and you feel really, really hungry, take some MCT oil, a teaspoon, and put it in your water, and you can drink that as well.
I think it's worth saying that probably you shouldn't try this at home, ladies and gentlemen, because obviously medical supervision is critical here. But in the case of that lady, what was the before and after of that 72-day fast?
So diabetes, gone. Blood pressure, normalized. Weight loss, tremendous weight loss. I think she lost about 55, 60 pounds. Not only did she lose all that weight, yes, all that weight from her belly was gone, but even her face, under the arms. So when you lose weight in a fasting program, it's very different from losing weight when you are restricting calories. You actually retract your skin, so you get real changes in your entire body. These patients, I had one patient that fasted for 183 days under supervision. So he went from 400 pounds to 210 pounds. And when he walked into the office, you would not recognize that he's just lost all this weight, because he did not look like skin on top of bones and then having to have surgery to remove all that excess skin. Fasting is a totally different physiology. Fasting, the body is doing a whole lot of things that are very different. And we can go into the physiology of fasting because that's fascinating. It's a physiology that has not been used by us. We've lost it. So one of the things about modern living, we have lost this physiology of fasting. First of all, why do we still have that physiology in us? It's because it's supposed to serve a purpose. Because we're supposed to be fasting and feasting. But now we're only feasting all the time. And we're not fasting. In order to go back to normal, you should be fasting. Fasting is supposed to be a normal part of your existence. That's the way you were designed. Not this modern industrialized living that we've been doing in the last fraction of a millisecond in the total existence of the human race. We've changed our lifestyle so much, modern man has, but our genetics and our physiology has lagged behind. We were supposed to use fasting and feasting as part of our normal program, as our normal physiology. That's why we still have it. That is why after 12 hours, you start making some more ketones in your body. And the ketones come from fat. You're moving that fat out of storage.
What is a ketone?
Ketones. So ketones are an energy molecule produced by the liver. How does it make it? It makes it from fat. So the fat gets liberalized, and by the way, the fats only start moving when your insulin levels are down. So because of fasting, your insulin levels are really low now, okay? Because you've been fasting, right? So now the fats start dissolving. So you get free fatty acids. The free fatty acids float into the bloodstream. Free fatty acids are fat products. They float into the bloodstream. They go to your liver. Your liver converts those into ketones. Now, ketones are an energy source of the body, an alternative source to glucose. So in general terms, you are either going to be running on glucose and glucose metabolism, or you're running on ketones, okay?
And so ketones basically show up when glucose isn't around.
That's absolutely right. So ketones are actually a cleaner fuel for the body. And in terms of producing reactive oxygen species in the metabolism, the way your mitochondria work, you actually produce less reactive oxygen species, which is damaging to your physiology when you're in ketones. And ketones are signaling molecules that also change your physiology in a number of ways. Number one, it causes the production of brain-derived neurotropic factor. that occurs under ketogenesis. Brain-derived neurotropic factor, which means that you become smarter, you're growing new cells, your reflexes are better, your visual acuity is better. Why? Because nature wants you to become a better specimen so you can go out and get your next kill.
So why don't we all just stay in a state of ketosis then, if it's so miraculous?
Well, that's a great question. You don't want to be in ketosis all the time, because that's not what ketosis, what our physiology was made for. Because then you'll just be burning fats all the time. And that's not a good state to be in constantly either. So you want to be able to do both. You're supposed to get your current account and your deposit account. You're supposed to work with both of them. That's the normal physiology. So not only brain-derived neurotropic factor increases, but also stem cells. Stem cells are amazing. In my patients, of course, I see...
What is a stem cell?
Stem cells. So stem cells are... We all have stem cells. And we all still make stem cells. And they're produced by the bone marrow. These are pluripotent cells. Cells made that will then go out and become whatever they need to become. So they can go out into your circulation, become a muscle cell,